Hey everyone, it's Anime Fiend. Today we're diving deep into the topic that's been on my mind for a while now. How My Hero Academia could have ended in a way that made more sense. More specifically, we're going to explore alternate endings for Deku, ones that would have been more in line with what the series promised us way back in chapter 1. So grab a snack, hit the like button, and let's break down how Horikoshi could have stuck the landing. Let's rewind to the beginning for a second. In the very first chapter of My Hero Academia, Deku says, "This is the story of how I become the greatest hero." And for the longest time, we as readers and later viewers took that to mean this is the rise of the new symbol of peace, a new number one hero who carries the torch from All Might. But what we got at the end was different. Deku gives up one for all, returns to being quirkless, and essentially steps out of the spotlight. And while that might be emotionally poetic, it feels off. Like the buildup didn't match the payoff. So today we're going to look at three alternate endings, ones that could have kept that original promise intact or at least made it feel more earned. Let's start with the most grounded alternative. Deku becomes the number one hero, but at the huge physical cost. We were shown right from the beginning that one for all is incredibly dangerous. When All Might first explained it to Deku, he says outright, if your body isn't trained, this power will literally rip it apart. And even after 10 months of non-stop training with All Might, Deku still ends up shattering his arms and legs during the UA entrance exam. That's not normal, that's a red flag. Recovery Girl, one of the best healers in the world, warns him right then and there, if he keeps doing this, his injuries will become permanent. And guess what? He does keep doing it. During the sports festival, Deku tries to limit the damage by only using his fingers. Later, with Gran Torino's help, he learns to distribute one for all through his whole body. But the strain is still there. Fast forward to the forest training arc, Deku fights Muscular solo. An absolutely brutal battle where he ends up fracturing both his arms again, from shoulder to fingertip. Then there's a final battle with Shigaraki, who, let's not forget, now has a body modified by Dr. Ujiko and filled with multiple quirks from all for One. Deku pushes his limbs beyond anything we've seen. The physical toll is devastating. So how should this have ended? Imagine this. Deku defeats Shigaraki, becomes the greatest hero, but permanently damaged. He can only use one for all for a few minutes a day, or just like All Might. That would have been such a powerful way to show that being a hero isn't about having infinite power. It's about pushing forward even when your body is broken. That's real sacrifice. Now let's talk about the second ending. Deku loses power over time, not all at once. If you've seen My Hero Academia, Two Heroes, you might remember a scene where All Might and David Shield are looking at a graph that shows that All Might's power dropped by about 30% over time. That decline was a result of years of accumulated injuries, and it tells us something important. One for all doesn't just burn you out physically, it fades over time. Now apply that to Deku. Unlike All Might, Deku took a long time to adapt. He spent more than a year just learning how to not hurt himself when using his quirk. All Might even tells him to stop copying his style because it's only doing more harm than good. When Deku switches to shoot style, he finally begins to fight like himself. His legs are stronger, his movements are smoother, but the strain doesn't go away. Now imagine this ending. Deku beats Shigaraki, but it does so using up most of One For All's energy. He still has the quirk, but it's greatly weakened. Kind of like how All Might was during the Kamino Ward battle. Still capable, still inspiring, but not as powerful. That version of Deku becomes a symbol not because of power, but because of will. That's a legacy worth carrying. Finally, let's look at the variation of the original ending that would have made more sense, the quirk transfer overload. During the final battle with Shigaraki, Deku formulates a plan to defeat him by overloading him with quirks. Shigaraki's body is already struggling to contain All For One's power, But even though that can't keep up, his body is literally tearing itself apart from the inside. Now Deku has access to the quirks of all the previous One For All users. His idea? Transfer all of them into Shigaraki to push him past this breaking point. And it works. Kind of. But here's what they could have done. Let Deku transfer only the individual quirks, not the core power of One For All. He sacrifices the extra abilities, yes, but he keeps the core flame, the thing that made him a symbol of hope. That way, he wins the fight and stays true to the narrative that we've come to know as the greatest hero. It balances sacrifice and fulfillment. It pays off his growth. It fits the world's logic. So, those are the three endings that I believe would have made My Hero Academia feel more complete. Deku becomes the number one hero, but is physically broken, like All Might before him. Deku keeps One For All, but in a weak form, showing the toll of heroism over time. Deku sacrifices the extra quirks but keeps One For All, fulfilling the prophecy he gave us in Chapter 1. The ending we got, where Deku loses his quirk and returns to a quirkless state, might have emotional weight, but it contradicts the arc we followed for over 300 chapters. What's the point of all that build-up if the final payoff feels like a reset? But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Would one of these endings have felt more satisfying, or did the final chapter work for you? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this breakdown, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.